Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Teal House Farm. We are getting some morning chores done real quick. Then we got to have a therapy appointment for Annie this morning, and then we are back on the farm for the rest of the day, which is nice. And we're going to get some winterizing done. It is starting to get super cold. Okay, we're back, and we had lunch and naps, and now we are going to do some work. So I have a couple goals for today. I need to walk all of the electric fence where the sheep and goats are over there and just kind of give it a once over before winter comes, and just make sure that there's not anywhere where it's too loose or anything like that. That won't take very long. I also want to take a peek and see about like where we're at as far as how much roughage is available. Kind of trying to judge when it's time to start feeding them hay, and I want to hold off on it because it's expensive. We can't cut our own hay because we don't have the equipment to do that. But I don't want to start it too early. I don't want to start too late because it's expensive. I don't want to wait too late because we're obviously raising some of these animals to butcher. I mean, they get complimentary grain and stuff too, but they're gonna need some hay before it's butcher time, and I just kind of trying to hold off. But we're gonna check and see how the field's looking. We don't want to not get enough calories because we're getting close to butcher day. So then the other thing I need to do is I need to move our wood pile. So we got a bunch of wood up here. It's not where we want it. You cannot keep it dry up here. Sam tried to cover it with tarps and weigh them down with rocks. They blew right off. We actually have a wood pile stacking area behind the farmhouse where we can keep everything dry. So it needs to be moved. I cannot move all that myself, but I'm hoping maybe I can get a big chunk of it moved. So we at least have maybe like a couple months worth of wood stacked and kept in the dry place, and then kind of work on it a little bit at a time. To do that, I think I'm going to attempt to back the truck up to the pile, throw a bunch in the truck, and then drive the truck around the house to where the wood piles are, and then unstack them. I'm gonna have the girls come help me too, because I think we could do a lot if we kind of work together. And then the last thing I need to do is I need to winterize our chicken coop. It is just open right now. In the past, we've moved our chickens down behind the house for the winter, but that would mean moving all the fencing too. Just don't really feel like it. I think if I wrap some greenhouse plastic around that, which I have extra of that, it'll just make it like a nice little warm incubator for them, and they'll be happy in there for winter. They got plenty of space to run around, and you have to feed in the winter anyway, so maybe this will save us from having to move all the chickens and the fence this year. And also, since they'll be right up against the house and right up against our dusk and dawn light and close to where the dog is running around, should prevent any predators who are feeling chancy coming up and grabbing anybody, because there'll just be too many risks to grabbing one. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think we're gonna start with the wood because the girls are getting their boots on to come out and help, and then once they're all worn out with that, we'll tackle another project where they maybe have a snack and watch a show or something. fence? Quick walk. I'm gonna just check out this goat fence here. The fence actually looks pretty good, and the grass isn't grown over it in most places. There's a little spot over here. You can see the grass pulled the bottom line down, separating them too far. A lot of little sheep or goat would run right through that without thinking about it, so we'll tighten that up. And over here, it looks like we have a little bit of a mess. This is actually my makeshift gate system. I don't have a good gate system for our electric fences, so I'm just kind of making do here. We can tighten that up too and try to hang these so they don't pull the fence down. It is pretty incredible what the sheep and goats have done. Earlier this spring, the grass was so tall it was up to my knees, and you can clearly see that that is not the case at all anymore. We can even see the outlines of the old silo that was built here about 100 years ago. Okay, fence is off. Looks pretty good. I say we probably have another couple weeks. There's still a good amount of roughage out there. Another couple weeks, we'll need to start buying some hay. Ugh. All right, last thing, we're gonna get the chickens ready for winter. So let's get that done. We need to get them their clean shavings they got right here. I need to pull them to where they actually are. We're gonna set up their current coop, but we're gonna make it more wind resistant for winter. It actually shouldn't take very long, so let's just go ahead and get it done. Trying to decide if I should move it up here. Probably. Right now, that little house thing that was abandoned by the girls, and then we ended up building the chicken thing around it, that's where they lay a lot of their eggs. And so I think if we break that apart so they aren't tempted to use that, because that will absolutely not keep them warm at all. And then move the coop up there. Maybe they'd be more likely to try to go in it for the winter. Right now, some of them sleep in the coop, some of them sleep up in the trees, trying to convince them to sleep in the coop. So I have shavings for them. Their food's already in there. If we move it up, they'll be right next to their nipple waterer. And then we're going to put a roost in there, kind of convince them to go in there. But I'm wondering if that house is still there, if they won't be convinced to try it, even if it has nice new bedding in it. We hear you. Please. Take it down a notch, please. I'm not sure. I don't want to fill this up with shavings and have to move it. So I think I actually might wait on this project until Sam gets home tonight and asks him what he thinks. Because I don't want to do all this work and then find out should have moved it. But I also, taking apart that house and getting rid of it and moving that coop is a big project in itself by myself. So I think I'm going to wait. So I think our winter prep stuff might stop right here for today, but I feel pretty good about it. I got a lot done. We'll ask Sam when he gets home what he thinks about that chicken coop, whether or not I should move it, and then we'll go from there.